Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Hearted Podcast. I'm your host, Morgan Anderson, and today we are talking all about confidence building. I don't know about you, but I struggle with confidence quite a lot. And it could be just a day that I struggle with my confidence. It could be a week, a month. It could be an extended period of time. And it could be for so many different reasons. It could be because of the way I feel like my body looks, or how I physically feel, how I'm doing mentally or emotionally. There's so many different factors that go into my confidence, how I see myself, and how I feel I am living my life in the current moment. And sometimes I just need that little boost to get me out of that headspace and to get some of my confidence back. I joke all the time that Harper is not going to have confidence issues because I have taught her to cheer for herself all the time. She literally will go down the slide and say, "Hooray, I did it!" and like spin around, and like she's so happy for herself. And honestly, I wish I had that kind of confidence. Now, I know as she gets older and experiences the world and bullies and real life, she's probably going to have confidence issues. Most of us do. But raising her has reminded me that I can be confident in myself. And there's some things that I can do to boost my confidence if I'm just not feeling it and I can't shake the feeling of being self conscious. Like most people do, I definitely struggle with my physical appearance and my self confidence when it comes to how I look and how I dress and whether or not I'm trendy or not. Most of the time, the thing that I struggle the most when it comes to being confident in myself is being intelligent, being able to hold a smart conversation. But a lot of times when I have issues with my self confidence, it comes down to my intelligence level, I guess. I always worry that I'm not going to come off as sounding smart or knowledgeable in whatever subject I end up talking to somebody about. And I just worry that I won't be able to have an intelligent conversation, which might sound ridiculous, and it probably is, but that is something that I have always struggled with. Since I am a Gemini, I like to know things. I like to know everything. I like to do all kinds of research for everything. And I love to appear as a smart person who knows what they're talking about. So if I'm ever put in a situation where I just don't know, I hate that. And I've been trying to be much better at just admitting that. Or when I end up being in some weird conversation about Bitcoin or something that I know nothing about, to just be upfront and say, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. But sometimes when things like that happen, that can really rock me and just get me questioning pretty much everything, which is an extreme reaction. But I end up then trying to research that thing, trying to understand it, even if it's something that I'm not interested in, just so that I can talk about it at some point. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I find is the problem is the anxiety and overwhelm it adds to my plate when I'm already juggling so many things that actually relate to my life and could be useful. And I'm just learning that I have to let some of that other stuff go, that it's okay if I'm not the smartest person in the room, because I have never been the smartest person in the room unless it's like me and Harper alone. And even with that, I'm not convinced that I'm the smartest one. But I've always wanted to have that facade of being somebody who is smart and who has their shit together and just knows what they're doing with life, when I definitely do not. So sometimes I get down in the dumps about my confidence. I tell myself some really, really negative things, and I just really struggle to shake those feelings. So I ended up coming up with some activities to help me boost my own confidence, as just like a quick little reminder for me to just refresh whenever I'm in one of those tough situations. And I did the same for you. So I just wanted to go ahead and share these activities with you in case you have a time where you could use it, because confidence can be such a hard thing. It seems like some people are born with that natural confidence and they could rule the world. Nobody's going to get in their way. And you're just like, man, I wish I had like an ounce of that. But even those people, I swear, when nobody can see them, they are probably also having confidence issues and questioning things in their life. And so if you are ever feeling that way, I hope you can remember this episode, maybe even re-listen to it, and just get some ideas for how to boost your confidence, and in turn, hopefully turn your your day and your mood around. So, first, I'm of course going to talk about self care. So, you could set aside a whole day if you're able to, or just a chunk of time. Just make some kind of appointment with yourself to do some of these self care activities. Self care can be extremely basic, like I'm sure that you've seen in other YouTube videos or on Pinterest of, taking a bath with a bath bomb or doing a face mask. Those things are great, but I think you need to go much further than that. When it comes to figuring out what you want to do with your self care day, I think you really need to check in on what you're missing, what you feel like your body's missing, or your spirit, or even your mind, and just try to nurture that particular thing. So, in these examples, I'm going to kind of talk more about just like overall burnout, overwhelm, things that can help with that. But don't be afraid if you feel like there's something spiritual that, you're not getting and you need to set some time aside to journal or read or meditate, whatever helps you connect with your spirit and your soul, definitely do that because that will be a huge way to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, and in turn, definitely boost your confidence because it clears your mind. It gets all of the shit out of the way and allows you to really open yourself up to new opportunities and to see things differently. For instance, your confidence and how you see yourself. So, if you have no idea what to do for your self care day, these are a couple things that you can do that are super easy and things that I find myself craving when I haven't been taking care of myself. So, the first thing is to meditate. I always need to meditate, no matter how good I am about it. And honestly, I haven't meditated in quite a while, which means I am definitely past due to do that. So, even just meditating for a minute, just 1 minute, ideally, this would be somewhere where you're comfortable, maybe in your bed, maybe on your bedroom floor. But even if it has to be in the car on your lunch break or before you walk into work or even before you drive home, just taking that minute to sit and breathe and try to quiet your mind. You can always do a guided meditation that will talk you through, clearing out your mind, or you can just sit in silence and enjoy it and just take those really good deep breaths. You can even look up meditations for something specific that you're dealing with. And I've probably talked about this before, but in the past, I have even done anxiety meditations, like for an anxiety attack. And it helped calm me down so much just by taking my mind off of the stressful situation I was in and taking the time to really slow down my breaths, and just know that everything was going to be okay, even though in that moment, nothing felt okay. Another thing you can do is something really relaxing like yoga. You can do a really gentle and slow and easy yoga practice to just really open up your body, give it a good stretch, and just listen to it. See what hurts. Like even right now, I'm like, ooh, between my shoulder blades is like very tight. And so I feel like when you do yoga and you slow down, you find those pain points in your body and you can kind of work on those a little bit more or just find a way to, take care of those, whether you need to do an ice pack or a heat patch or just take it easy doing some activity that maybe has irritated that part of your body. You also can obviously take a bath if you want to. We have a teeny tiny tub. I don't know what it is with old houses, but they're so freaking small. It's annoying, but either way, you can do something more special than just a bath bomb if you want. I would recommend lighting some candles, have some kind of tray where you can have a glass of wine and a good book, and maybe even do a bubble bath with the bath bomb or do some kind of dried flowers and herbs and just things that smell really good that's going to give you that good aromatherapy and just make it a whole experience versus just jumping in the tub with a bath bomb for 10 minutes. And if you're not really a reader, you could always just watch a show on your iPad or laptop or phone or whatever, just something that's going to make you feel good and really help you relax. Now, another thing you can do is go and get pampered somewhere. So, self care days and activities can be as cheap or expensive as you want them to be. But if you feel like you want to be taken care of by somebody else, go book a manicure or pedicure or a massage, facial, anything that's going to make you feel really good and refreshed. Make time to do that. Set the money aside, or honestly, with the holidays coming up, it is a great idea to ask for gift cards to your favorite spas or salons to get those services done so that you don't even have the guilt of paying for it. Somebody else has bought it as a gift for you. And then you literally have that time set aside on your calendar. Nobody can get in the way of it. And then another thing I think you can do that's just fun and easy is just watching a movie that you really enjoy or a TV show. Make a bowl of popcorn or some other snack that you really enjoy. Watch a movie that's going to make you feel good. I feel like I did this all the time when I lived at home, but then as I, had my own house to manage and then became a mom, like I have not had time to sit down and watch some of my favorite comedies and movies and TV shows like I used to. And so that is such a nice treat for me now to just sit down and enjoy something that is familiar, that I know is going to make me laugh and feel good by the end. And it feels indulgent almost, which, might also sound crazy because I know we were just quarantined for like a year and a half or are still half quarantined, but I still in all of that time didn't find a lot of time for me to watch movies that I truly enjoyed. And you can always do some kind of movie marathon and include your friends or family or partner and just make it a whole event. Watch all the Harry Potter movies in a weekend, maybe not a day. Maybe people can do that in a day. But Dylan and I, we literally were just talking about how we need to rewatch all of the Jurassic Park movies, and then we'll probably watch all the Star Wars movies. Like that's what we always tend to do in the wintertime because, it's winter for like 6 months here in Ohio. So we just do movie marathons like one after another. But it's great because it's movies that we really enjoy and we love the characters and all that. So those are some things I would recommend doing for a self-care day and or, just an activity here or there. Just if you have 20 minutes, you could do one of these things if you wanted to, or make it a priority to take some kind of special bath one evening a week. Just setting aside that time is going to be so good for you and you absolutely deserve it. So please schedule that in. So another thing that really boosts my confidence like almost immediately is just moving my body. For so long, I've had such a bad relationship with exercising and moving my body because it was always some sort of punishment for, being lazy or eating the wrong things or in preparation for something I was going to do, like, eat potatoes on Thanksgiving. And so I felt like I had to work all of that off before the holidays. And so just having that negative connotation with exercise has never been good for me. That has not been a good motivator. I know some people are super motivated by that kind of tactic, but just not me. That's just not me. I don't like to be told what to do. I do not like things that are bossy. And so I just never thought I was going to be somebody who enjoyed exercise again after I was, probably in my early 20s, if that, because I did enjoy it in high school, but it was also extremely convenient and I had plenty of time. And, even though I had a job, it wasn't that serious. So exercise was just very accessible and easy and something I enjoyed because I didn't have any adult responsibilities, to be honest. So as I've gotten older, I've had to find other physical activities that I actually enjoy and I want to do because that's what gets me to move my body. So I love yoga. I love doing Pilates. I love going for walks with Harper, but like not hikes because my allergies will probably try to kill me, honestly, while I'm out there because I'm allergic to like every kind of tree. And honestly, I swear, just doing a couple squats in the morning before you get dressed makes your ass look so good. Just kidding. It already looked good before. But if you do some squats in the morning, I promise it will get some endorphins going and just like get you up and ready to move for the day. So you don't have to have this whole exercise routine if that's not something that works for you. For me, with being a stay-at-home mom, I need to do stuff that I could do here at home, in my bedroom, or in my living room, or maybe in the backyard, but that's about it. It doesn't really make sense for me to go to classes at this time, unfortunately. And I can't always stick with some sort of challenge, which I know what you're probably thinking. Well, you could just make time for it, prioritize it, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you're totally right. You're totally right. I could do that. I'm not that kind of person. I am going to put my daughter and my family and cooking dinner before myself, which isn't always a great thing to do. I'm just being totally honest. I am not going to overcommit and that lead to even more burnout and overwhelm for me personally. I hope you will do whatever you want to do, but you just have to find what works for you. And that's the thing. You can try different gyms that have trials. You can try programs that are online. There's tons of YouTube videos of different exercise specialists that can teach you different ways to move your body to be stronger. And you can do it at home or do it outside or whatever you want to do. So just don't give up if you're really struggling with your relationship with exercise and moving your body. Just don't put so much pressure on it. Do what feels good. And if it doesn't feel good anymore, but it used to, you can always change. I am all for changing things up if they're not serving you anymore. So let it go or change it. It's no big deal. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. Okay, so you know how at the beginning of this episode, I was talking about liking to know things and being smart and all that shit? Well, this one kind of goes in hand with that. So, something that really builds my confidence is learning new things. So, just letting myself be curious about things that actually interest me, not necessarily what somebody else is trying to push on me via a Instagram post or, something I've heard out in public or something like that, just something I am genuinely curious about. So, I like to do this a lot of different ways. First, I love to listen to Time Suck, the podcast. You probably know that already, but it covers all kinds of different topics and it just has taught me so many things that I would have never learned otherwise. And even though I don't remember all of the details from every single episode, it's still just fun to have kind of like trivia in the back of your mind and just learn about something new or just be like, man, I feel like I've learned more from this podcast than I did from my entire high school career. I also love the Dark History podcast with Bailey Sarian. So I think both of those podcasts could be good for you if you enjoy, like dark humor and learning some things that are just kind of off the wall and aren't things that you would normally know about. Although some of the episode topics are obviously things that have been covered lots of ways, or we probably have heard about it in school. But a lot of things like I have never heard about before. So it's really fun to just learn something different and not feel like I had to put a lot of work into it. Like I literally just put my earbuds in and listened to it and came out the other side, an hour or 2 hours later, learning something I didn't know before. I also love listening to audiobooks, which is a lot like listening to podcasts. So if there is a topic that I'm interested in or something like that, audiobooks are usually a good way for me to go. And they're low commitment. You can start listening to it. And if it's just like not your thing, you don't have to finish it, even though I'm the kind of person that I will push through it, even if I'm hating it, which I'm trying to work on. Trying to just not care. If I don't like a book, I don't have to finish it. And I've done that with like 3 books recently, which is kind of crazy for me, but they just weren't what I was looking for, not what I thought they were going to be. So I am giving you permission right now to do that also if you want to. You can also look up literally anything on YouTube or TikTok. I have learned so much from TikTok and YouTube. It's like almost embarrassing. Dylan was the one who actually got me watching YouTube videos because every time he needed to like fix the car or do a house project, he was looking up tutorials on YouTube. And I was like, man, I can do that for just about anything. And then just recently, I've been, too lazy to actually watch whole YouTube videos or feel like they don't get to the point soon enough. And so I was like, I bet I can search for these same kinds of things on TikTok. Sure enough, you can. And the algorithm is so good. Once you start searching for things like that, you will be targeted with that kind of content. And it's just bite sized information that can answer questions that you have really quickly. Or if you're looking for a specific kind of product or something like that, it's all out there for you. So, really, even though the internet can be such a dark and shitty place, it can also be an incredible tool. It's just the way we choose to use it. So if you're curious about something, don't be afraid to just do a little research on it, feel it out, see if it's something that you would be interested in, and learn something new. I promise it will make you feel a little bit better, even if you don't tell somebody else that you've learned this new thing. Just taking the time to research it and to learn about it, you'll just be like, wow, I'm really proud of myself. And then if anything does come up in like casual dinner conversation, you can just like slide in little details that nobody else will know. And they'll be like, oh my God, you're so smart. Now I want to talk about making stuff in order to boost your confidence. This kind of goes along with the last one of just learning something new, doing the research, putting time and effort into doing something, but this is actually physically making something. Now, sometimes this gets me into more trouble than it's really worth because, as you probably know, I am a minimal ish person. I'm definitely not a minimalist, but I'm not a maximalist. I am like somewhere in the middle, probably a little bit more towards the minimal side. So, anyway, when I get into making things and having hobbies, I do all the research. I watch all the YouTube videos. I buy the courses and the products and the supplies and the tools, literally everything I need to do a specific project. And then guess what? I don't do it. Or even worse, I like half do it, or I do everything but the very last step. And then I have a closet full of unfinished projects. And that might not bother you, and that's amazing. But for me, I'm like, you're a terrible person. Why did you waste your money on these things? They're just sitting over there. They're literally in this closet right here. That's why I'm looking over there. They're looking at you. They're taunting you. They're like, you're a failure. You suck. And of course, that's my bad negative self talk, but I'm just being honest. I get so hard on myself when I buy things and I spend my precious time and energy doing all of these things. And then it turns out to be a really hard project that I can't actually do, or I just get bored with it, honestly. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I buy 1,000 yards of fabric when I just don't work with it that much? And I don't know. I'm rambling. But basically, I'm just saying you can make something, but try to not make it something that's going to overwhelm you, that's going to stress you out, that's going to cost you a lot of money if you don't feel comfortable with that kind of investment. So, for instance, if you want to make candles, let's say, you can, of course, buy supplies in bulk to get the best price and blah, 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 blah. But you can also go to Michael's and probably spend like $20 on a candle making kit that has all the supplies, all the directions for how to do it. You can do it one time, see how it goes. And then if it's something that you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this all the time, I'm going to make a business out of it, then you can invest in those additional supplies and tools and all of the things that's going to be a huge investment that's going to take up room in your home. And it's something that you know you're going to enjoy. Then you can make time for that. And just working with your hands, problem solving, all those things can really just help you feel good. And again, just that's what we want to do is boost our confidence, get those feel good feelings going so that we're not so down in the dumps. But you just don't want to invest a lot of time and money and space for something that you're never going to touch again. And it's just going to become a pain point later on. So start small with these projects. You can even go to Michael's or Target and get one little like painting project or sewing project, like that they will just be these little things that have all of the things that you need to complete it. You can probably do it in an afternoon, or if not, over the course of a weekend. I would highly suggest starting with things like that so that it's quick and easy and it doesn't have that big of a commitment. So I also love making things for people. I love to do this for Christmas gifts, and usually I don't do this like instead of an actual gift that I would buy for them, but I do it in addition to. But you could, of course, do whatever you want to do. For a long time, I've been into crocheting, and it's honestly something I really love. I just don't have the time to do it so much anymore. And it's like every time I sit down to try to pick up on a blanket, I forget how many stitches are in the row, and then it starts going like this. And so I've let that go for now. But for a long time, I was on a kick of making infinity chunky scarves, which honestly are like so soft and the best things ever. But I would make those and gift them because I love just in the wintertime watching a movie, having hot chocolate, and working on crocheting. But I could not keep all of the projects that I was making. So it was perfect to give those things away as gifts. So I would highly recommend that, even if it's a just because thing, or It could be for Easter or Halloween. Like, it doesn't have to be just for Christmas. You can make somebody something any time of the year. As long as you enjoy making it and the person enjoys receiving it from you, I think that's a great thing to do. And we end up buying so much for other people, and they might not even want it or be interested in it, and then we feel like we've wasted money, and it's just this whole thing. But if you like making something, it makes you feel good, definitely make things and give them as gifts. To me, I feel like those are the best kinds of gifts you can get. And last but not least, when it comes to making things, this kind of falls into this category. So house projects. This is something that you can, again, research, get your supplies for, get your hands dirty, and do something in your home. We don't always love doing projects around our home. There are definitely things that we enjoy hiring other people to do, but there are some things that we feel that we can tackle. And initially, I think we try to tackle things ourselves because we think it's going to save us a lot of money. But in the long run, it's actually really fun to work together on things and figure things out and just be proud of something that we did in our home. Yes, it takes way more like blood, sweat, and actual tears, but it's something that you can be proud of later. And you can say, oh, yeah, like we redid our kitchen ourselves. Like, it's not perfect, but it looks way better than it did before. So just taking pride in your home, in your space, working on little projects that are going to make you feel really good, I think is a huge confidence booster and something that doesn't have to take a lot of money or time. It could even just be making a corner of your home some kind of cozy reading nook, or updating your bathroom with some special plants, or just decorations that are going to make you feel good. So I hope this episode gave you some ideas for how to boost your confidence if you're ever feeling low, or you're just feeling like you're having self-esteem issues. Just go through this list and see if any of these things could help you. Honestly, I think any of these things could be a good little refresh, and it's probably good to just kind of cycle through them. We can't all afford to go get a massage once a month, but if you can, definitely do. If not, maybe just once or twice a year, having some kind of special appointment that is a specific self-care activity for you to do, or incorporating little things at the beginning or end of your day that just helps you take care of yourself a little bit better. Finding ways to move your body even a little bit every single day, learning something new or making something new. Just get your mind and your hands working, and that will hopefully let you release some of your stress and anxiety about all of your other confidence issues and what's going on in your life right now. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future ones. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.